It was a Tuesday night, and the kind of quiet that settles over a restaurant right before closing time hung in the air. Martin was wiping down tables, lost in thought about his daughter's upcoming graduation, when a woman rushed in, her eyes darting around like she was being chased. He almost didn't notice her at first, but the urgency in her movements was impossible to ignore. She scanned the near-empty dining room, eventually making her way to a booth near the back. Her voice, when she spoke to Martin, was a breathless whisper. She asked for water, a lot of water, and seemed incredibly anxious, fiddling with the strap of her purse. He tried to assure her that she could relax, but she seemed like she was barely listening. A few minutes passed, filled with only the clatter of dishes from the kitchen and the woman's shallow breaths. Then, a man entered the restaurant. He didn't yell, didn't make a scene, but his presence was instantly imposing. He was tall and built like a linebacker, with a face that looked permanently etched in anger. He walked directly to the woman's booth. Martin saw the woman shrink back, her eyes widening in fear. The man started speaking, his voice low and menacing. Martin couldn't make out the words, but the tone was unmistakable. It was a confrontation, and a terrifying one at that. He instinctively moved closer, his heart pounding. He was just a waiter, but he couldn't stand by and watch. The man reached across the table, grabbing the woman's wrist. That was Martin's breaking point. He rushed over, placing himself between them. He told the man to leave, his voice shaking despite his best efforts. The man glared at Martin, sizing him up, but something in Martin's eyes, some newfound resolve, seemed to give him pause. The man released the woman's wrist and backed away. He spat out a string of insults, directed at both of them, then turned and stormed out of the restaurant. Martin turned to the woman, his concern etched on his face. She was trembling, tears streaming down her cheeks. She looked up at him, her eyes filled with gratitude. She didn't say much, just a quiet thank you before gathering her things and hurrying out. Martin watched her go, a wave of relief washing over him, mixed with a strange sense of sadness. He went back to cleaning tables, but the quiet of the restaurant felt different now, heavier. He realized then that sometimes, the smallest acts of courage could make the biggest difference, and that even a simple Tuesday night could hold a story worth telling.